I will tell you, I am rubbish at seeing the chat. So if you have a question, unmute yourself and just kind of stop me. I'm fine with that. And Coach Lori, if you see something, just clue me in because I'm not going to see it. Do you all see
Okay.
me?
Yes.
Okay, so sometimes this works, sometimes this doesn't. Let's start from first slide. Okay, there we go. So this is me. This is my digits. If you need me, you'll find me anywhere on the elite group, the core group, Facebook, websites. Just find me. There are 5 rules for a Bob McCraney presentation. 1, I talk fast. So either slow me down or listen fast. I don't care which one. Totally up to you. Feel free to laugh at me, laugh with me. I don't care. This is not tedious, which goes into number 3. Websites and social media should be fun. This is not tooth extraction. Please just, roll with it and smile, and this will be fabulous. You'll enjoy it. Number 4, this is how I run my business. If you had 4 other experts up here, or not even experts, just 4 other people up here, you'd have 4 other opinions. They wouldn't be as right, but okay. You'd have other opinions than mine, and this is just what works for me. So take it with a grain of salt if you want to. And 5, if I'm sharing screens and you see passwords or a post on Facebook you don't agree with while I'm sharing a screen, don't hold it against me. I have no control as to what comes up on the screen. So just look by that and just don't get mad because something came up on my Facebook while I was sharing it. Okay. I actually had that happen once. I was like, really? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So who's seen a sales funnel before? Remax Platinum folks, who's seen a sales funnel before? Top of funnel is awareness. We're literally waving our hands, trying to get people to look over here. People, look at me. Okay, we're doing everything we can to raise awareness at the top of funnel. Then interest. Once you've looked at me, I need to say something engaging so that you stick with me and you want to become, more involved with what I'm talking about. Then we have decision making. He talked to me. I saw him. He's kind of funny. Maybe I'll work with him. Have you ever been in the free trial period of a website? You were at this part of their sales funnel. Okay. Then you get into the point where they become a client. You actually take them out, you show them houses, you write your contract offers, you list their property. The client phase, is actually where they've come through the funnel and they've decided to work with you and they're actively working. We don't get paid till blue. We don't get paid till fulfillment. Okay. That's closing and funding. Best 2 words in the English language. Yes or yes? Closing and funding. Actually, it's 3 words. I get, Okay. So, and then we have retention. Retention is where they bring their friends and their family, and we hope that they bring them back up to the prospect level. I don't know if you can see my mouse moving here, but it makes this little funnel that we hope that they skip the awareness part and they just bring their friends and family to interest. Okay. What I want to show you is that your social media helps you with top of funnel and retention. Your social media helps you with top of funnel and retention. Social media is all about getting attention and saying something engaging. Okay, that's where your social media is top of funnel and retention. Your IDX website is all the parts of the funnel. Your IDX website, and I try to put as many brands up there so people don't get all bent that I don't have their brand up here. IDX website is every part of the funnel.
Can you please mute if you're going to talk while the presentation is going on? Sorry, Bob.
That's okay. I'm just checking who's not muted, and I'm going to mute them. Thank you for that, Coach. Okay, I think I got everybody there. Okay, so does this make sense? That your website really is everything all at once? I like to think of your website as an open house that you don't have to staff. Your open house is going 24/7, and people are just coming in and looking at stuff. And we'll go into what makes a good website here. So your IDX helps with all the funnel portions. All your social medias need to be focused back on that IDX. So when you're doing a post on Facebook, reference the link back to your IDX. When you're doing something on Instagram, have your IDX in your link tree so that people can go log in and get caught in the funnel. TikTok, same thing. LinkedIn, of course, you need to have your website present and mention it in posts. All your socials need to point back to this funnel. Okay.
So Bob, and just in case someone isn't clear on it, can you just speak to IDX?
Internet Data Exchange is your website that shows your listings and listings in your MLS. Okay. Thank you for that. I always forget that acronym, may not be for everybody. Basically, it's your property enabled website, and you have to go through an IDX provider to show properties on the web, okay? Because MLS data is copyrighted and only those providers can allow you to have access, okay? And there's a variety of providers and some of them do well and some of them don't. So I'm basically here today to provide you with a check engine light on your website. I want to show you what works well on a website and what maybe doesn't. I had a 19-year career in IT before I got into real estate. And I've been 21 years, tomorrow will be 21 years in real estate for me. I'll be 21 years old. I'll be old enough to vote. So who knows what blinker fluid is? Raise your hand. So you go to the mechanic, your left blinker isn't working, and you go into the mechanic and he says, you know, ma'am, I got this $400 bottle of blinker fluid. This one's so good, it'll fix the left and the right blinkers. And it'll even make, even on imports, to make the blinkers in the back work. Only $400 can I put the blinker fluid in for you and fix it right away. And you buy this and you think, oh my gosh, I'm so smart. I fixed my own car today. And you drive home and you tell somebody else and they're like, girl, you just got screwed over. That's absolute crap. It was a 30-cent bulb and you paid $400 for it. There's a lot of blinker fluid in IDX world. There's a lot of blinker fluid in websites. By the way, the current blinker fluid is AI. Now, there's a lot of good AI, don't get me wrong. AI is not bad, but they're using that acronym and putting it on everything so that you buy it. Okay? Be judicious. Ask me, send me an email. Hey, what do you think of this? There's a lot of great AI, but they're slapping it on everything right now and calling it AI, and you're buying it. So just be aware of that, okay? I think about, like, my mother was a survivor of breast cancer for 13 years. She always talked about the pink tax. Women, you know, they think if they just slap a breast cancer ribbon in pink on a product, a woman's just going to go buy it at, you know, 20% higher than it was a week ago. So this is like the AI tax right now. The blinker fluid is heavy right now. So just watch out. Google is the most important person you're designing a website for. Google is the most—
Say that again, Bob.
Google is the most important person you're designing a website for. When I get a website client who tells me, but I'm luxury and it has to look pretty, and they have these movies where it flies over their town and swans are dancing in and all this, that slows your site down. That's unnecessary. When every button has to jiggle a little bit when you hover over it and everything moves and stuff like that, that's little scripts in the background that slow down your browser and slow down your server. But it looks good, Bob. It's got to look good. No, it's got to look good to Google. Google wants you to be fast and efficient. They want people to dwell on your site and stay there a while. And if you don't have that, you can have the prettiest site in the world and you're going to pay a ton in Google ads to make people come to that site, because Google's not going to show it to them natively. Let's dive into that. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Often agents deploy their site poorly and get stuck paying Google or Facebook ads to force people to come to it. A sustaining business designs a site that draws customers organically. Okay? Some IDX providers want you to deploy it poorly, so you are stuck buying ads through them. It's not the cost of the printer that gets you, it's the cost of the cartridges. Think about the fact that some of these site providers don't want you to know better, because you're still buying the $400 bottle of blinker fluid each month from them, and they need to sell that blinker fluid. It's in their best interest not to have you deploy the site properly. Okay, so the poor little flower on the right is what most people's website looks like. They've got one URL that goes to the center of the flower, which is their home page, and they might have one page off the side that's about me. Who has this website right now? I know, I won't call you out. Yes, okay. No self-respecting bee is going to pollinate that flower. We want to have the flowers on the left where everything's blossomed out and you have pages for everything, and the bees are attracted to come to your site just on their own. Okay? A poorly deployed site costs you money in ads to get people to come to it. Okay? And consider not having just a vanity URL. Don't just be bobmccraney.com. Come up with a name that can be transferred later. I mean, I'm TexasPrideRealty.com. I couldn't sell BobMcCraney.com to somebody when I go to retire. I could sell Texas Pride Realty. Somebody else can walk in the door and be the next Texas Pride Realty and take over the business and not miss a beat. Okay, so go ahead and own your name, but front front your site under a name that is not necessarily tied to you. Also be cautious of the word realtor because it is a trademark name. There will be people online trying to sell you best Dallas realtor. You cannot use that name. You can only be Lori Adams realtor. Okay. So be careful when you're buying some of these domain names. They'll try to sell you something that would get you in violation of the trademark. Okay, so a well-developed site has area and link pages, keywords, content that go with it, frequent updates, bloggings, videos, etc. Okay, and I'm going to show you elements of this as we go forward. A well-developed, it's going to have all the petals of the flower. Okay, and it may even have multiple flowers to it, if that makes sense, that metaphor. So how do we do that? Almost every one of our web pages has, websites has one of these search criteria boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've all seen this. I like to go through this and pick out every county, every city, and every possible criteria range I could do and make blog posts about them, make Google Business Profile products out of them. I want to display every part of our inventory in a separate link. Okay, let's say that we start we're all going to go in together and we're going to start a clothing store. Okay, and we're going to put that fabulous sweater that Sarah has in the front window and some slacks and a scarf or two and some hats for Nick. And we're going to have the front window full of really nice stuff. And then when people come into the store, we're going to tell them, hey, your size and your color, they're in a box in the back room. Go look for them. That's what we're doing when we have a box on our website that says, good luck finding a house yourself. Why don't we have links built into the site that say, here's the styles, colors, and variations that we can find for you. Here's the ones that have 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, size, price points, cul-de-sac lots, corner lots, new construction, new days on market, old days on market, foreclosures, short sales. We all have it in the box in the back. Why don't we have it out on the shelves for people to see?
Oh.
Because is Google more likely, when somebody searches homes in Plano, Texas on a cul-de-sac lot, is Google more likely to send them to a site that has a box that says, good luck finding it, or a site that has a link that says, here it is right here, let's go?
So Bob, are you saying that those words are actually something that Google's going to use to direct people to your site?
Long tail keyword searches are what we're going for. My biggest search each month, and I had no idea when I did this, my biggest search is mother-in-law plan. Every month, mother-in-law plan. And when I created that page, I thought, well, here's just another random thing I'll do. Let's see what this does. I had no idea it'd be my biggest search. Every month, over months, mother-in-law plan. Who wants to live with their mother-in-law? Apparently a lot more people than I ever did. Okay, so one thing you can also do is do a site map. Okay, when you have a website, you can have a site map company. Now, your website company may develop a site map for you that you can submit. And if you need help on this one-on-one, let me know. I'll be happy to do little Zooms with you. But your sitemap is a great way for Google to pay attention to your site. Okay. Now I have over 400,000 pages on my site, and that's counting links and properties and stuff like that. Okay. I am a crazy person. I just sit here and code more pages. An average website probably has only 15 pages on it. So imagine a flower with 1 or 2 petals. I want my flower to have just hundreds and hundreds of petals so the bees come. Okay, so think about this as you're developing your page and your site. You need to talk to your IDX provider. Do they provide us a site map that Google can just take and say, okay, thank you. I don't have to worry about crawling your site. I've got the index now. You did this for me. Google can go on and just list all those pages. Okay, it's a shortcut that we give Google so that they don't have to waste time on us. We've already done the homework for you, Mr. Google. Here you go. Okay. So every site should force you to sign in. Let me say this loudly for the people in the back. Every site should force you to sign in on the first house. Every site should force you to sign in on the first house. But Bob, I don't want to be, nobody in my market forces sign in. Do Realtor and Zillow work in your market? Because they force sign in. Well, we just don't do, if they like me, they'll sign in. Okay, so we're running an apparel store and they steal the first 5 shirts just because you think maybe they'll pay for the 6th one, that we're not going to be in business that long. Okay, so the currency of the realm is their digits. They have to give us their name, phone number, email address. That's how they're paying for our shirts and pants. Make them pay on the first one. If they're not going to sign in on the first one, they're not going to sign in on the 6th or 8th one either. They're not a client for us. Get them off our site. Does that make sense? Does anybody want to take me to task over that while we're here? Because I've been round
Well,
with people
what about that
this.
question? What about fake names, bad numbers, and emails? Do we care?
80% of what I get has some validity to it. We will get the wrong numbers and the nasty people putting things in there they shouldn't say, but that's fine. Probably about 80% has some detail I can find. And then I have an office management system team that goes in, and they, from whatever, they can either find the email, the phone number, or something about the name, or and pull up enough information that we can go get them. So you may get 20% that's BS. I think we're gonna, as we're running our retail store, we're gonna have 20% of the people walk through our store and not buy something. Okay, great. But this is when we can get 80%, yes, let's do it. Just to give you some numbers here, I don't know if they're in this or not. Last year I got 1,444 leads through my website. 1,444. Over 900 of those were organic.
That's
Over
great.
900 of those were organic. I'm a little too Scottish. I don't want to pay for ads if I can avoid it, you know? Okay. So for sign in every time, everybody raise your hand and say, yes, I will do that. Or you're not going to be, your website, I don't mean to speak poorly of certain brands, but there's one brand specifically that won't force sign in. They won't allow it. You should never be paying for their site. Okay. So these are traffic estimates, and I need to go put the new ones in here. These are from 2022. In April of 2022, I brought in 1,352 organic people through my site. If I had bought an ad for that, it would have cost me $1,782. The time I'm building these pages, and by the way, I don't build them night and day. I just, sit down, watch my Netflix, have a beverage of choice, and code 4 or 5 pages. I watch The Crown. I code a few pages. I sit at home on New Year's Eve and watch the ball drop, and I code a few pages. And it's just
But Bob, we don't know how to do that.
well, that's fine. It's really super simple. And if I showed you, you'd just be surprised how easy it is. The traffic I got in July was worth $5,000. Okay, that's $5,000 I did not spend on a Google ad to bring in people for our site. Okay, so let's talk about what makes up search engine optimization. Okay, who's heard SEO? Everybody. It's part of the blinker fluid your site is selling you. SEO. Ooh, that sounds like something I should buy. Okay, off-page SEO is combined with link backs from other sites. So let's say that Anne has a link to Sarah's site, and Sarah has a link to Nick's site, and Nick is linking over to Remax Platinum. All those links are links from one site to another. Okay, you want to be doing what's called link building over time. You want to be blogging about your site on Active Rain, which is a blogging site, or WordPress, or Wix, or just some other place that allows you to do guest blogging. You can do guest blogs with each other, and in the blog, mention your site and have a link. The more people link to you, the more important your site becomes. The more people who link to you, the more your site becomes. If Beyonce went to the microphone at the concert tomorrow night and said, Anne McWilliams is our best agent, you should always use Anne McWilliams, here's my next number. Would Anne's website go crazy?
Yeah.
So if my aunt goes to the corner and says, Anne's a nice lady, you should use her, nobody's listening. So the quality of the link back becomes important. The quality of who said it becomes important. So you want to strategically look at the site where you're getting the link from. I can tell you Active Rain has like a 70% Google domain authority. Most domain authorities for realtors websites don't get over 20, 25. So getting link backs from people bigger than, get mentioned in the press. You find your local reporter and get mentioned on their website for good reasons, not for like, you held up a store or something, but just, find ways to get mentioned in some larger websites. That's worth a whole year's budget in advertising, okay? Now, behavior. Behavior has to do with the click-through rate and what's called dwell time on your site. So if Nick goes to Dana's site and Nick bounces off immediately, goes to the site, doesn't see what he wants and leaves immediately, that means that the bounce rate is going to be high and the dwell time is going to be short. They only stay on the site 30 seconds at most. Now, Sarah goes to Remax Platinum site and stays 4 or 5 minutes. Obviously, Sarah found things that were important and stayed. That dwell time went up. Google's going to look at that and go, that site's better. Send people to that site because people find what they want there versus, oh, they just skipped in and bounced off. They will depreciate the site where you skip in and bounce off. So have content that's good. Have content that's really good. The content people are looking for on our sites are houses. They don't care about the write-up about you. You're a fine person. I love you already. You're great. But Penny, nobody wants to read your biography on the first page. They want to see houses. When you walk up to get on a flight, Lori, and you're going to fly from wherever you are, from the West Coast where you are, and you're going to fly to Baltimore, do you care that the agent's name is Stephanie and that she comes from Dubuque and she has a dog? No, you want your boarding pass and you want to get your bag checked. You're there to get on a plane. People come to our site to see houses. Get out of the way, and then they'll love you. They'll love you after you give them the boarding pass and check their bag. But put the houses up front, okay? And make them sign in. Now, so that's behavior, okay? Personalization. Personalization has to do with your search history. If Sarah is always looking for a florist in her area, they're going to show her that florist first, okay? Who's looked for Italian restaurants near me? I always talk about food when I'm doing this because I'm always hungry. So Italian restaurants near you is going to personalize that to be around your location. They're not going to tell you Italian restaurants a day away. So that has to do with the personalization. It also has to do with the speed and style of your device. If you have a device that has not been updated in 4 or 5 or 7 years, you're not going to see the whiz-bang websites that are designed for the new technology. You're not going to see those sites. If you want to attract over 55 people, design a site that's rudimentary. Don't put whiz-bang stuff on it because they're going to have the older phones that they got from their grandkid. Okay. If you want to go for like young emulator buyer, have a website that has all the new flash technology, not flash because it's old, anyway, has all the new whiz-bang stuff on the website because their phones will be able to see it. And older phones will not be shown that site. Okay. Then we get into citations. Citations are your name, your address, your phone number, your social links, things like that. Spammer sites will not have citations. Spammer sites will not show a physical address or they'll fake it. If Google knows your address and you've got a Google business profile and it's seen you around the web with that same phone number, your citations validate your site a little bit. Okay? Spammer sites won't have that. So they'll know you're a little bit more legit. Okay, then we get to on-page SEO. This has to do with what's called meta description and meta keywords. Okay, meta description is a sentence that says, you know, Dana's website is about homes for sale in the city where Dana serves. Okay, make the sentence about the city you serve, not about Dana. Not Dana is a beautiful, wonderful agent, and loves children and puppies and, you know, is voted the queen of the world. Don't care. Homes for sale, Dallas-Fort Worth at a median price of on market certain number of days. Find Dallas homes for sale here. They'll meet Sarah later or Dana later. They'll meet her later. Okay. Has nothing to do with us. The meta description should be about your magnet city. Now, Dallas-Fort Worth is made up of 45 or 50 different suburbs. Let's say that I focus mostly in Frisco, Texas. My magnet city is Dallas. There are no flights flying to Frisco. When I fly from Atlanta, I fly to Dallas. Your web searches need to be focused on your magnet city and then show them the suburbs. Okay? Because your magnet city will be the largest number of searches out there. Now, let's say that I'm in Frisco and I only want to drive to the 5 or 7 suburbs near me. I don't want to go south. You need to advertise those other suburbs because you will out-advertise the people there and you'll get referrals. And you will not have to worry about paying for your website or paying for coaching because you'll have enough referrals to just do that. One of my coaching clients last weekend got 16 listing leads on her website. Only 2 of them were in her area. The rest she's going to farm out and make money while she sits on her butt. Okay, so that's on-page SEO. That's keywords, meta description, and by the way, the content of that page. Let's say I'm still in Frisco and I've got a meta description that talks about Frisco and my keywords are about, you know, Frisco homes for sale. I need to have content on the page that matches Frisco. You don't want to put content on the page that's about, making spaghetti, when the meta description and the meta keywords are about homes for sale in Frisco. It all needs to be congruent, or Google will be confused by that. So description, keywords, and content all need to be in alignment about whatever thing is. And you need to have a page for Frisco, Dallas, Plano, the Colony, Carrollton, all the different suburbs each get their own petal of the flower. Does that make sense? Okay. Then we have reviews. Who's getting reviews on Google My Business? Who should be getting reviews on Google My Business? Everybody should be getting reviews. Okay, so reviews are incredibly important. And now they help your website. Used to be they only helped your Google Business Profile. I'll show you that in a minute. So reviews are important. And the quality of the reviews, if you have somebody who's a Google local guide who gives you a review, I think that means a little bit better than, my aunt who doesn't review anything gives you a review. If I've reviewed 400 or 500 businesses, I think Google ranks that I don't have that from Google per se, but I think that's what's happening there. And then Google My Business itself, which is now Google Business Profile, because they had to change the name on me, so I had to make a new slide. Okay, so these are the 7 ranking criterias. In the red here, you see the Google Local Pack. Who's seen this when you've done a search? Pretty much everybody. Okay, so the local pack has mostly to do with your Google Business Profile. The organic search results have mostly to do with your website. You have 2 opportunities to be a winner. When they spin the wheel, you have 2 opportunities to show up. One is in the local pack and one is in the organic search results. Okay, do not buy the lie that, you shouldn't even try this. Realtor and Zillow already have it all wrapped up. What if your website just stole 1% of business in your market? What if your website just stole 0.5% of business in the market? If somebody called you today and said, I will give you 1% of Zillow's business, would you take it?
Yes.
Of course you would. Don't buy the lie that you can't do this. Oh, SEO's out. You just got to pay for leads. No. Okay. So these are those 7 criteria. And this is the 2021 ranking. You'll notice that the things that helped your Google Business Profile were directly opposite the things that helped your website. Okay. So they were inversely correlated. Okay. So you had to watch them both. Now they've mixed them. So things that help your website do help your profile, and things that help your profile do help your website. So they are now both very important. Make sense? Too much? Overwhelmed?
Kind of.
I'm not, am I the only one that's confused? I'm not sure which is the web. So can you just say, nope, the other slide that you were just on?
Okay.
That one.
So your Google Business Signals, your Google Business Profile is now the 4th ranking factor for your website. On page SEO is now 19% of your Google Business Profile, and it's the highest thing about your website. In the previous way, they didn't reflect on each other. Now the website and the profile help each other boost up. You could run just a profile, or you could run just a website before. Now you need to have both of them kind of working together.
The Google Business Profile and the web page working together.
Right. In the past slide,
Yes, thank you.
they were disconnected. The 2 largest things about your profile were the 2 lowest things about your website. Your website didn't really care if you had a profile. Now they want it to be more important, and they've changed their rankings.
So Bob, would
question?
you say then that it does now mean that it is important for an agent to have a website?
Absolutely.
Because for a few years there, I was thinking that, really just build out your Google and don't worry about your website or rely on your broker's website, but you would say different now.
I just cracked my neck, tilting my head so far to the right so I could listen to that. Yes, I love you, but yes, you absolutely have to have a website. It's your open house that you don't have to staff. It's an open house that you don't have to put up signs for or anything.
So I have a question. I'm at Remax and they have an agent site, and you have the ability to add these searches, like, look for homes under this price range or look for homes in this neighborhood. Should I not use that website? Should I have somebody build a separate one so that Remax doesn't
Okay, I'm not going to talk about Remax specifically.
or any, whatever broker, like I have, but that's offered, you
If
know?
if I have 3 acres of land, do you want to come build a house on it? Or do you want to own the land you put the house on?
Yeah, okay.
So,
Wow.
and here's the other situation. Broker, Banana Realty gives everybody a website from, ABC company. And they're paying the $100 per agent per month for that. Now, ZYX company calls them and says, hey, we'll do your broker websites for cheaper. And you have to move all your agents over to our company. You had all your stuff built on land you didn't own, and
Right.
broker made the business decision to move you to the new product. I've had people lose their whole CRMs because they were dependent on the broker's technology.
Right, okay.
Now, if you can afford $80 a month, and I don't get paid by any brand to mention names, $80 a month pro agent website is the most minimally competent website you can have. Pro agent websites. Now, pro agent website, their problem is that they don't have every MLS across the country. So you may run into the fact that they don't have you.
Yeah.
Okay. If you can afford $300 a month, go Real Geeks. If you want to pay more, you can go with Chime at $450, which is now Lumi, something like that. Lofty. Now, I don't see paying over $300 or $400 a month for a website. If you're paying $900 a month to some of these companies, I really need to have you and your coach sit down and talk about budgeting.
What was the $300 one after
Real
Pro Agent
Geeks.
website?
Real
What?
Geeks. Real Geeks.
Oh, Real Geek.
2 E's, REEL.
Yeah, like a real geek. Nick, you had a question earlier and we bypassed
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So when we're talking about Google business profile and the website are linked together, are we saying, is Google knowing that by we put the website link into our profile, or they
Yes.
actually have? Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the other thing is that I use my website and I make products on my Google profile. So I'll go out and find homes in Dallas under $500,000. I'll go out there and make a product, homes in Dallas under $500,000, put that link in the Learn More button, put a picture of a house on there and have a little write-up about homes for sale. Then I'll do mother-in-law plans, I'll do pools, I'll do every variation I can think of and go make another Google product. And Google sees that connection.
So like whenever you put a post on there, put an update, always put a link back to your website. So
Yes.
we kind of
Yes.
just refer back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
that doesn't really help me with link building because I don't see it being tracked in analytics, but it can't be hurting me that Google has links to my site embedded in their
Okay.
profiles.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Is this making sense?
It is making sense to
Now, a
me.
lot of you, I'm sorry, go ahead, Lori.
I said it is making sense to me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, a lot of you may not know how to code a website, and that's why you need somebody like a Bob to help you. Okay. And if you need a recommendation for who you can get to help you, let me know. But I want you to understand the theory behind it so nobody can walk up to you and sell you a bunch of blinker fluid. Okay. So Google business signals and factors of proximity. Oh, I just put those notes there. Never mind. So let's see what's next here. We have on page, we have behavioral, we have technical SEO, which has to do with your site speed. Now, this you cannot change. If you buy from brand X or brand Y, they've got their stuff built into it. You cannot make a Lamborghini into an F-150, and you can't make an F-150 into a VW. If you bought an F-150, it's going to drive like an F-150, and if you want the VW, you should just change companies. I get a lot of people from time to time who tell me, well, I like this about my site. Could you just make everything else different? I'm like, you bought a Toyota. I can't turn it into a Land Rover. And frankly, I'd rather have the car that's, I can get the groceries in rather than the sporty car as far as a website, because, I want to have a site that people see on Google. Okay, I think that's most of what I wanted to talk about here. Any questions so far?
Well, I wanted to ask, Bob, would you go into more detail about your strategy around building out the different pages?
Sure. Okay, I'm going to share screen here. So everybody, if you don't like stuff, just close your eyes. So this is Texas Pride Realty. Okay. I notice I have a pretty mundane picture on the front. I don't really want that picture to be a lot of like moving parts and pieces. I have some basic text and I get them right to the houses. Okay. I've got a couple of blogs that are on my site. Now let's talk about blogging. Okay, who runs a blog? Okay, every hand should have been moving on that, Nicole. Okay, Nicole.
Well,
focus on-
Nicole's got
yeah.
one.
But the blog, there's two strategies. Have the blog on your site so that you get traffic. Have your blog off your site so that you get the link back. I used to do nothing but off page because I like the link backs coming in. And some friends of mine have been like struggling with me to get me to do on page. So now I'm doing some of these on page, like romantic restaurants to have dinner at Dallas Fort Worth. And then places to go for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm doing some on page blogging about the holidays and just seeing if those blogs pick up and I get any traffic off of that. For my cities, I have down here all the suburbs of Dallas Fort Worth. Okay, so let's pick on Allen, Texas. Click on Allen, Texas, and it's going to come up here. Just a second, and there's the breakdown of all the subdivided searches you can do for Allen, Texas. Under 400, 400 to 6, 600 and over, homes with pools, new construction, homes with acres, corner lots, cul-de-sac lots, all these different variations. I'm getting the product out on the shelves so they can see it. And more likely, I'm getting Google to send somebody to my site because I have a link already defined for Allen, Texas homes with no HOA. I have a link defined for all these variations.
So
And then
how do
you
you link?
mentioned-
What do you put in those links? Like, so if I click on that link, you're adding homes that are in there,
No,
or are you
no.
linking them to the MLS?
I'm linking them to my website that has a search already set up that says pool. So this is pool, homes in Allen with a pool. In my website, in the URL, I can change pool equal yes to pool equal no and get a different search. So I've defined this as homes, a city equal Allen, pool equal yes, show search. And so whenever somebody clicks on that, they're going to get the current description of every house in Allen. I don't have to go update this. Once I've done it, it's set and release. And this is one of the things I like about this product is I can literally just change city name. Let's change city name to Garland. Here's all the homes in Garland with a pool. I can go create links in seconds because the way this URL structure works. Let's say I want pool equal no. I can just say pool equal no and have a link of all the homes in Garland without a pool. It's that simple. I'm not a brain surgeon. I'm not really smart. I just know this stuff. Okay. So having these links defined helps get the product out and helps Google see that I know my area because I have all this robust information about my area. So here's my cities, and they all have the same breakdown. Okay, here's some styles. Home builders, a home builder's map. Homes that are new on the market. This is a toggle that's set to DOM minimum 2. Want to see the newest homes on the market? Come here. High-rise living, golf course homes, rail living, because we have a DART rail system. So I just mapped all the different DART stations, and you can live near the DART station. Craftsman homes, different styles. We have urban luxury. We have homes with pools. I split the pools up here just to see what would happen to my searches. Foreclosure, REO, gas fireplaces, because Texas has a bad power grid, and we need to know, who's got a gas fireplace in the winter. Zero lot lines, mother-in-law plans, things like that. I've got 14 counties defined out of the 55 that are in my MLS. I need to go do more of those. If you click on the county, it's going to have the same list on the side here. There we go, of the breakdown here. So maybe you're looking for homes in Collin County that are a lakefront, or homes in Collin County that have, multifamily housing. I've got it defined out there so that people can see it. And you may not want to go to my level of crazy. I get that. But you should break the product out of the boxes so people don't have to go to the back room and look for the blouse they're looking for. Okay.
Now, Bob, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I know that, a lot of people struggle with blogging and, well, in general, struggle with creating content. But I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that each one of these searches could very easily also become a blog.
Yes. Thank you. She gets it. I love you. You're my favorite person today. Yes. Yes. So I've broken out our ISD stands for Independent School District. So Louisville ISD schools. And within this, I have the same breakdown by Louisville ISD and then the names of the different schools they can search by. I have a big caveat up here. If you're buying because it's in a school district, you need to call the school and double check. But Little Sally Realtor said this was in Louisville ISD and this school, so this is what we're advertising. So I've gone through and done some of the school districts. I've also started doing the zip codes, because some people will do a Google search by zip code versus there's 200 zip codes in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This took me around 9 months to just sit around and do a couple zip codes each night. And it has, look at that, the same breakdown. Because all I changed in the URL was city equal Garland to zip equal this, and the same structure worked. Once you figure out how to do this, you'll be doing it all day. Most of us have some sort of advanced search feature on our site, yes?
Mm-hmm.
What would happen if you picked homes in, I'll go to Collin County because I know there's a lot of homes there. Homes in Collin County, city equal all, I want to see 3-car garages, search. There's that URL. That's a blog post, and that's a Google business product. That URL right here has the price point, and somewhere in here it has garage spaces equal 3. This is what's called a query string URL, meaning the whole menu is in the URL. I can put this anywhere in the world and everybody else will be able to use it.
Interesting. So it's not some freakish code that we can't.
No, it's so freakish you could do it right now. You can change minimum. Let's say we want a 5-car garage. There ain't gonna be, oh, somebody got a 5-car garage. Well, look at me. So that you can literally just do that right there.
So when you're doing this, when you talk about sitting and watching Netflix and you're creating these pages, you're literally doing what you're showing us right now, going in and creating a new one with this adjusted search.
Right. Yeah. And putting it out there for the world to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the basic of doing this. Getting these out and blogging about them and getting people to come back to your site by enticing them by giving them links. And having those links defined on your site so that people, and Google being the people, will stumble across them and bring people to it.
Wow. So what would you say is the first thing that somebody should do walking away from getting this information and wanting to maybe execute better?
Audit your current site, see what your keywords and your meta description are. See if your site charges you to have extra pages, because if it does, you don't want to be with them. If you have to pay a developer to come along and add more cities, that's not good for you. You want to be able to add as many pages as you ever think of without them charging you an extra dime. So see where you stand, meta description, meta keywords. Can you add more pages without any interference? And from there, just start picking what would be popular. What do your buyers ask for when they come to you and say, hey, I want to buy a house, Penny? What are they asking for? Have a link for that. Go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, if I was moving to your area, what neighborhoods would I look for? Hey, ChatGPT, assume the persona of a buyer in Dallas, Texas, with a average price point of $500,000 and blah, blah, blah. What neighborhoods would you want to see? And then go make video and web pages for those areas. You may already know them, but do you have content around them? Do you have content for those?
Wow.
Thank you for attending my TED Talk.
That was really great. Yeah, I feel like we learned a lot. Does anybody have some questions they'd like to ask Bob?
I guess oops, go ahead, Nick.
Oh, sure. So a quick question on the web pages. So Bob, you mentioned about like don't get to some site that charge you extra for the extra page or that. Would that so my website, there's a limit of 50 pages, and because every time when we have a listing, I would create a static page to host certain content that was not
Who's the
on the
website
regular
provider?
surface. GoDaddy.
Yeah, well, that's not an IDX site then, is it?
No, well, there is an option I can purchase IDX service to
Anything that
that.
limits you like that is a bad site.
Sorry?
Anything that limits you to a number of pages is a bad site.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess my other question was like, would that, so are you saying the more pages we have, the better for Google?
More petals of the flower.
Welcome.
Yeah, more petals on the flower.
What I see. Yeah.
Yeah. The average number of the websites, you can do site : who's got a website? Nick, what's your site name?
Find homes.
Fine Homes?
Yeah. Find homes. TO.com.
TO.com?
Yep.
Okay, so you have 205 pages indexed on Google. Does
Okay.
that sound about right?
It should have 50, but
Okay,
but
well,
I,
some of those
I don't
might
know
be
where the
variations.
others are.
Yeah, so I've got 10,500 pages indexed on Google.
Oh.
I'm not paying anything higher than what I pay for the website. Why would I not have more?
Yeah, I got it.
Why would I
And those
not
are
have?
indexes are, I guess those are the IDX search that gives you the actual index, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Every listing
because I'm
becomes,
displaying my inventory.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, so you were just the little URL that you typed in there was site and then colon
site
and then the
:
site.
site name, yeah.
Okay, okay. So that's how you can check your own site if you're,
You can see how you're indexing.
okay.
Penny, did you have a question as well?
Well, we work for Sotheby's and our brokerage puts a lot of, invests heavily in our websites. And so I guess I just want to clarify. So I think I just did what you, I mean, can you look up one more thing for us?
Sure.
Paul Smith, Realtor?
Paul Smith, Realtor.
It's SMYTH.
Oh, yeah, sorry, SMYTH.
That was a trick question. I could feel it coming.
Uh-oh.
Nothing.
Well, can you put space between Paul and Smith?
Websites don't have spaces.
This isn't a website. I'm just trying to get you to,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Sorry.
Okay, so there we are, because we do business under my husband's name and also Smith Realty. So I don't see, now is that telling you anything, like you were talking about indexes or something?
It's not good because everything's going to be tied to your
William
Sotheby's
Sotheby's.
site. You're going to make Sotheby's more business than yourself on this,
Yes,
which you
okay.
might be fine with, but
Yeah.
that's
I
not going
mean-
to help you as much.
Okay,
I don't know that this will even work.
thank you.
Two pages. Your flower has 2 petals.
Okay,
We
I
need
just-
more petals, bigger
Yeah.
flowers.
Is it worth, you know, like in that scenario, I think that's kind of I always tell my agents, and maybe I'm saying the wrong thing, that, you know, if they don't have, you know, the money or the budget for building out a website, use their broker's website and build out their Google page.
That's not a bad strategy for somebody who's doesn't have the wherewithal, but if they can get up to $80 a month, get them on their own sites.
So that's plan B. Like
Right.
plan A is get up and running. Plan B
Right.
is move off on your own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
When you
guys?
can afford it,
Is this helpful?
or the other way around, actually.
Right, when you can
but
afford
yeah.
it, get off and do your own thing. Is this helpful?
yes, thank you.
Okay, write me if you have any questions. I'm gonna have to jump off here, but it's fun seeing everybody and thank you for being here.
I appreciate you so much, Bob. Thank
Take
you
care,
for doing
guys.
this for my
Thank
group.
you.
Bob,
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.